think we're good. Good evening. Thank you for coming out to our fall jazz concert. Yes, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay. Hey, you can see us. Yes. Thank you again for coming out to our fall jazz concert this evening. We've got our vocal jazz in front of us right now. Jazz band is coming up in the second half. And at this time, we invite you to stand for the singing of our national anthem being performed by vocal jazz.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose but stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glad, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
So, thank you for that as well. Soloist on that one was Josiah Bonock, and yeah, absolutely. Which brings me to the first point of this evening's concert. This is a jazz concert, and when you hear a soloist, if you like what they've done, or at least to show them appreciation, you are invited to applaud immediately afterwards. You do not have to wait to the end of the piece to acknowledge them. So that is more than welcome at jazz concerts. We invite you to do that. We just got some exciting news last week for our vocal jazz. For those that didn't know, we sang for homecoming, took a video of that, and like usual, I put it on Facebook and onto the Waterford Choir's page, and someone took that and then forwarded it to all of the Milwaukee Pro Sports groups, and we found out this past Friday that vocal jazz has been accepted to sing the national anthem for the Milwaukee Bucks game on December 21st. So. It's also really interesting because usually you have to apply for it, you wait a couple of months, but because of that video, it just got front listed, and they said, you want to do this? Sure. So, sure we will, but we have to buy tickets too. So come with us, December 21st. The next piece we've got is an older tune. Well, they're all older tunes. They're all older tunes. This is Pennies from Heaven, featuring at the beginning, we've got Heidi Fusick and then C.J. Jimenez in the middle. This is Pennies from Heaven.
A long time ago, many things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree, 'cause there'll be pennies from heaven for you. Cause if you want the things that you love, you know you must have showers.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. Now we've got Take the A Train, an old Duke Ellington tune. Duke Ellington is one of the most prolific American composers of all time. He wrote over 800 pieces of music. This one is with Duke Ellington and Billy Strayhorn, arranged by the late great Steve Zagree, who is a vocal jazz director at Western Michigan and the Gold Company for a long time. Soloist on this one is actually our guitarist, Mr. Bob Monagle. This is Take the A Train.
Must take the A train to
Staying in that same era, now we go into musical theater a little bit. Cole Porter, one of the great American theater writers, became part of the American Songbook in the 1920s and 1930s. Wrote this one called "I've Got You Under My Skin." This one's arranged by Parrish Rutherford, and our soloists on this one are Johanna Hall and Jonah Klingston. So now we move from the early 1900s to the late 1900s. That still feels really weird to say, because it's when a lot of us were born. So it makes us feel old to say that we were born in the 1900s, but that's the truth. This is from a 1970s tune from the Little River Band. It's called Reminiscing. And a little bit of story behind this is when we were out traveling, I was listening to Sirius XM radio, and part of it is there are a couple of channels, but one of them, this song kept coming on as I was going different places. I'm like, that's a really good tune. Is there an arrangement for it? No, of course not. It's 50 years old. Why would it ever be a choral arrangement now? I just kept looking, and finally I said, you know what? I know who to call. And so Carrie Marsh is a fantastic vocal jazz arranger, singer, producer, sings with a quartet, and he and his wife sing together as well. And I shot him an email and I said, what do you think? You think you could do this? And he said, yeah, I think we could do this summer. And what he came back was this amazing arrangement for us. This is written for the Waterford High School Vocal Jazz, and this is the world premiere of that particular piece with this arrangement. So you get to hear it first. But if you know this tune, you'll instantly recognize it. But the other part is if you take this arrangement and put it with the original, just the sheer brilliance of the arrangement. I have such enormous gratitude for Kerry and what he did in our arrangement. Features on solos Evie Murray and Maddie Hill. This is Reminiscing, Little River Band, arranged by Kerry Marsh. That's it for our portion of the concert. We're going to take about a 5-10 minute little break here. We'll reset the stage for the jazz band. So hang out for a minute and enjoy the next 5 to 10 minutes of silence. So. 1 through 5.
All right, everybody. Now it's the jazz band portion. So you're going to see an almost entirely different group up here, but if you take a look, there are 3 members of vocal jazz who are up here who are doing double duty tonight. That is Hannah on the bass, Maddie on the trombone, and Elliot on the drums there. And also, you'll notice, wait a minute, we've got a really old high schooler over there. We have Mr. Machan. He's going to be filling in on piano for us. Yeah, just can't quite make it. So you're going to be seeing a little bit kind of different music than what you've necessarily heard in the past. First semester last year we did a little bit of this, and this is more jazz combo music. So jazz combo music is a little bit closer to what jazz originated in at the end of the 1800s. These small groups, really the foundation of jazz came from all these surplus brass instruments right after the Civil War. They had all these buglers who were playing in order to give out commands to their soldiers while they're marching, and then all of a sudden the Civil War is over and they have a whole bunch of people that don't need these instruments anymore. So what do they do with all these surplus instruments? Well, a lot of former slaves pick them up and start playing them, and a lot of steps along the way, but eventually return into the idiom known as jazz. So having this smaller group is actually a little bit more of what you would have seen at the beginning of the genre itself. So this first tune that we're going to be playing for you is called Headlines. This is by Jeff Taylor. This is originally written specifically as a jazz combo tune. And this is going to feature fully improvised solos by all of the horn players that you see up here. So once again, this is Headlines by Jeff Taylor. Next, we have a tune that is extremely important to the genre of bossa nova. Bossa nova, if you don't know, originated in Brazil, and there's really only a couple guys that you can really talk about when you're thinking about how bossa nova came to be, and two of those people are Antonio Carlos Jobim and Vinicio de Moraes, and these two they basically came up with the entire genre themselves, and this tune in particular was one of the really first powerful tunes that they came up with that became really well known and traveled around the entire world. And the name of it is Chega de Saudade. Now, chega just basically means to stop, and saudade is a word that we don't actually have a translation for in English. And the best way that it has been described to me, there's been a lot of Brazilians who've tried to describe it to me, but the best translation that I think I've been told is that feeling that you have when somebody is away from you and you miss them so much that you have an actual physical pain. That actual pain itself, that is what saudade would be. So if you say saudades to someone, that's what you're saying. It means that you miss them so much that you actually feel it, like, physically. So, Chega de Saudade features two soloists. We're going to have Landon on the tenor saxophone, and then we're going to have Elliot on the drum set. noticed, a little bit different from what I'm normally doing up here during jazz concerts, I've just pretty much been off to the side here. So one of the hallmarks of a jazz combo is that, generally speaking, there's no actual leader that's in front of them. Usually, they communicate with each other, and you'll see every once in a while them looking over to somebody else, letting them know that, okay, I'm done with the solo. At the end of this section, it's going to be your turn now. Or if you watch an actual jazz combo, you'll see them make certain hand signs, and sometimes it's just as simple like, and then they continue on, and everybody knows what that means. Or you might see something like this, meaning go to the head, which means go back up to the top. So we've been working with them to start understanding how some of that goes, which when you see them transition from, say, everybody playing into a solo, and then from one soloist into another, they're kind of already doing that right now. But there's a second part of this, and that was at State Solo Ensemble last year. The judge specifically kicked me off the stage, and he said, get over there, let them do their thing. I know that you want to be in front of them and trying to guide them, but they've got it, right? And he was right. So I'm trying to take my bit of criticism from the judge during State Solo Ensemble as well, and it just kind of fits with doing the whole jazz combo thing. So up next, you're going to see a little bit of that communication in between those soloists. We have a jazz standard. This is In a Sentimental Mood by Duke Ellington. It has been played by thousands and thousands of jazz musicians over the past, I'm not sure how many years. I believe it was the 60s that this came out. Do you know? 35? Wow, okay, I was way off on that. All right, Duke Ellington, duh. That's like, wow, what was I thinking on that? Yeah, he was. Wow. Okay. Forget that I said the 60s and say, pretend that I said 35. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let them do the playing. That's what you're here for anyway, right? These last three tunes that we have here are being played out of something that's called The Real Book. And now, The Real Book is something that was published by Hal Leonard, and it is based off of something that was called a fake book. Now, fake books have existed for a really, really long time. And basically what it was people would go to jazz clubs, they'd hear somebody playing, and they go, wow, that tune is awesome. And they would hear it a few times, and they would memorize what was going on, and then they'd try to write down what it was. It was a really early form of bootlegging, basically. So there's all these unauthorized copies that are floating around, and this is how people just learned these tunes. Well, one of the music publishers went, let's take all of those tunes, and let's legitimize them, let's get all the royalties properly, let's actually write them out so that there aren't a whole bunch of errors in there, wrong accidentals, wrong rhythms and stuff in there, and let's put it into one giant volume. So that is what this is. There are, 450, 460 different tunes or so in here, most of them all really well-known jazz standards. So what you see, they just get this, and then they have to fill in everything else around it. So our bass player, for example, our bass player just gets these little notes up here saying, oh, this chord here is a B flat major chord. And then what she has to do is go, okay, which of those notes am I going to play? And she has to actually come up with a bass line herself. Our drum set player, he doesn't even get any music. He's just got this, and he's just using this as a structure to go follow along. So literally everything that you hear him play up here tonight, except for that first tune, has been his interpretation, listening to what the group is doing, listening to recordings of other people, and then just coming up and putting it down on the drum set. All of the solos that you hear from everybody, they once again, we play through this, we come up to the top, they see these chord markings, and then they have to try to fit a solo into that. So a lot of stuff that you've heard tonight is just coming out of the minds of all of the players that are up here. Some of them for the very first time. We even have a freshman up on the stage right now, which is very rare for the jazz. Not only is a freshman up here on the stage for jazz, but he's also playing some improvised solos at the same time at his very first high school jazz concert. So they're doing some real tough work up here, learning a lot of really tough stuff. You've heard three different styles. We're going to wrap up here with a fourth style. It wouldn't be a Waterford Union High School jazz concert if we didn't have some kind of rock or funk tune on it. So that is what we're going to wrap up with. This is Good Evening, Mr. and Mrs. America.
for coming. I hope you enjoyed the concert tonight. And I have to say it, have a good, safe drive home. Also, sorry, back in the middle there, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Mr. Carter. Thank you for running.